Rashid Nazmedinov, one of the most aggressive chess players I have ever seen in my life. The game started when Rashid Nazmedinov with the white pieces started the game with d4, and we enter into a Grunfeld defense, and after takes and takes with the knight, the black pieces is really giving the center to the white pieces with the idea to go for c5 to distort the pawn structure. Of course, if you take, I can simply take there, and now I can go for e6, take the pawn on c5, and that is completely, better for the black pieces. So that is why that doesn't even happen in the game. And after c5, Rashid goes for bishop b5 check. This already shows how good of an aggressive chess player he was. So there are only two ways to save everything up. Queen there doesn't even work. So that is bishop d7 or knight c6. His opponent opted for knight c6, and now d5 is played, attacking the piece which is actually pinned to the king. The very tempting move, that is queen a5, is played. And now you can see here, this is attacking the bishop which was previously attacking. And now you can see that the pawn on c3 is also hanging, which would also lead to a fort. Now, what do you think would Rashid play in this position? Take there and take? You can't take there. I will simply take, and this is completely winning for the black pieces. So, what do you think would Rashid play in this position? He goes for queen e4, one of the most beautiful queen moves I have ever seen in my life, with the idea to sack the pawn on c3 and then again sack the rook on the corner. And of course, you can't take the queen, because I will simply take, and knight is simply hanging. Like any random move, I just take, and this is completely losing. So that is why trades does not happen. And what you might wonder that what happens after queen takes on c3. We don't even have to answer that question, because that is what happens in the game. One of the most beautiful king moves I have ever seen in my life is that is king e2 is played, playing the bomb cloud in the medieval ages. And now you can see that the rook on e1 is completely hanging, and you can't actually take it, because after takes, I can simply take there, and if you take my hanging bishop, this is simply mate. After there, we take the bishop, and this is checkmate. So that is why this doesn't even work. Queen takes e1 doesn't even work, and Rashid's opponent goes for bishop on d7. So now simply d takes on c6, and after takes back, bishop takes on c6. And now you can see here, after if you take, you are just losing the rook in the corner with a check, and that is completely losing. So that is why that does not happen in the game. And after takes, here the only move saving everything, rook d8 is played. And what do you think that Rashid played in this position? One of the most beautiful queen sacks I have ever seen. That is queen b3, sacrificing the rook in the corner, sacrificing the bishop. So of course, if you take the bishop, I will simply take your queen, and that is completely losing with the attack on the rook in the corner too. Bishop takes on c6 doesn't even work. And if you try to raid off, I can simply take there, and after takes, if you count the material, the double rooks cancels each other, the bishop cancels each other. Now you can see that the knight is actually left, so Rashid is completely up a full piece and would be completely winning. So that is why takes does not happen and does not take place. And now queen takes on e1 is played. Now what do you think did Rashid play? That is bishop b2, attacking the queen, and the queen has only one move, that is queen b1. This square cannot go, this, everything is just blocked, so it is kind of trapped. And now queen b1, the only move in this position, is played. And the second brilliant move of the game, knight f3, sacrificing another rook. He sacrificed the first rook, and now he's also sacrificing the other rook, because after takes, this is what happens in the game. You can't actually try to not take, because the queen is trapped. You can't go there, any random move. So you have to take, and this is actually just forced. So now in this position, knight e5 is played, trying to attack the bishop, which is actually pinned, and also to threaten mate on the f7 square with the queen looking at the f7 square. So there are actually no good ways to protect it. You can't go with bishop e6, because this is just pinned. And the only way to protect everything is e6 to stop the queen from looking at that square. And now in this position, after takes and takes, this is attacked, and in this position Rashid finds mate in 11. He forced his opponent to mate in 11, mating net. He starts the threat with queen b8, and now you can't you can't go there or something. I think knight c6, yeah, this is completely losing. Simply checkmate, right? So the only move in this position saving everything is rook d8, queen b5 check is played. Of course, you can't go there because I will simply take and this is mate. So the only move is king e7, and once I will again go for queen b7 check, you still can't go there. I will simply take and that is mate. Back doesn't even work due to queen takes on f7. So and this doesn't work due to knight takes on f7 checkmate. So the only move left in this position is king f6, and this is what happens in the game. Now you can see that the pawn on f7 is actually just hanging, so that is what happens in the game. Takes, and now the king g5 is forced. The only move, knight f3 check is played. So of course, if you now king h5, the best move is played. So now in this position, there are no actual checkmating ideas except the move of g4, sacrificing the pawn, because after you take, I can simply take the pawn on e6, and if you try to go back, this is just mate. So you have to go for king f4, and now I will simply go for bishop e5 check, and I mean sacrificing the pawn on e4. But after you take, now you will see that the every bishop move in this position is just checkmate. Like this is mate, this is mate, I mean every move, like this is mate. And the only knight move mate in this position is knight g4, and this is completely checkmate, and this is what happens in the game. So I hope all you guys like the game as well as the video as much I did. Thank you so much for watching, and do check out all the videos and check out this video.